Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Olivia Rios, Director of Operations and Programs at the LA Latino Chamber. Our hearts are with the Los Angeles community and everyone affected by the devastating wildfires. We are tremendously gracious to our incredible first responders for showing unimaginable bravery on the front lines. The Chamber is actively putting together efforts to support our community in any way that we can, especially those who frantically fled their communities, lost their homes, who have very little left and are trying to recover. The level of support has been tremendous from our community. We are LA strong. At this point, I'd like to introduce our speakers, Wilbur Cabrera, Vice President at SoCal Loans, Julia Juarez, Deputy Commissioner for the Department of Insurance, and our chairman, Daryl Salceda. We will have a Q&A at the end of the sessions, and you can also write your questions in the chat box, and those will be addressed. So at this point, I'd like to welcome everyone, especially our speakers. And Wilbur, I'll give the reins to you.
Thank you all for being here with us. Today we'll be discussing how the SBA is helping out small business owners and also homeowners and renters as well. Thank you very much for being here. There are three different types of loans that the SBA is offering to those that were affected by the fires and also the winds. So there's two different things. So not necessarily if you were affected by the fires, you could have been also affected by the winds. For example, if your power went out or anything like that, where you were affected by the winds, that it's also there for you. So there's three loans. The first one is a business physical disaster loan, which means if you have to replace anything that was damaged, like your property and equipment that you might have, or if you were impacted economically by the disaster, doesn't mean that your business was impacted physically, but economically, right? And what that means is you had to shut down, the power went out, there's no business coming in, so you're also able to apply for that. The third one is the home disaster loan. And this is one of the first times where the SBA has offered something like this, because the SBA is Small Business Administration, is designed to help out small business owners. They also went a step above that, where they're also offering a loan for homeowners and also renters. The credit requirements, there's two criteria. Applicant must have a credit history acceptable to the SBA, and also the applicant must show the ability to repay all loans. Next option, we've been getting a lot of questions of what does it mean by no credit available elsewhere and credit available elsewhere. What this means is if you're a homeowner, if you're a business owner, you can also be a nonprofit. What this means is no credit available elsewhere. This means that once the SBA reviews your file, they make the determination if you were to be able to qualify for a loan outside of the SBA. And if you don't, based on what they see, then that's how you're able to get the lower rate. So for example, for businesses, no credit elsewhere, that means that's a 4%. If they determine that you qualify through them, and then you also can qualify through an outside lender, like conventionally, where you can go directly to apply to a bank, this loan can only be done via the SBA. So if you hear anyone else offering their services and saying that they can apply on your behalf or anything like that, it doesn't work that way. You have to go directly to the SBA. You make an SBA account, you log into your portal, and that's how you submit the application. And then that's how they determine if you qualify somewhere else, that's how you get that 8%. The loans are amortized up to 7 years, but if you do qualify elsewhere, your loan will be to a maximum of 7 years. These are installment payments. It's fully amortized. The loan may be required to provide some additional collateral. What this means is, if you are a homeowner and you own your business, the SBA can come and say, we're going to put a lien, or we're going to take additional collateral like a life insurance or an asset that you might own. Then that's what that means, that you might be able to require to provide additional collateral for this. The loan limits. So there's 4 different types of loan limits. For a business loan, it's up to $2 million. The economic disaster loan It's up to 2 million. And then there's what's called the business loan ceiling. What this means is if your business was impacted, damaged, you had equipment or anything like that that was damaged, and you were also impacted economically, then you can combine both. And when you're submitting your application online, it's very crucial that if you were impacted by those, there's a section there that you must click saying that you're applying for both. So you might be getting, for example, $500,000 for damages and then $500,000 for the working capital piece. And what that really means is there's no business coming in. There's certain bills that you must pay, or you must pay your employees. That's where the working capital piece comes in. For homeowners and renters, if your property was damaged, then that's where the limits can go up to $500,000 for repairs or replacement of real estate. Mostly for renters, it's up to $100,000 for personal property. That's where that really comes in. There are some restrictions on what is eligible. There is some things that are non-compliant, uninsured losses. So this is very crucial when you're applying for this or you're applying for a grant. Always check first, especially if you're applying for a grant, let them know that you're thinking about applying for an SBA loan and if that's going to affect you. So you have to ask those questions directly where you're going to be applying for anything that has to do with the grant. The deadlines. So this is still continuing with the fires. There's 4 counties that were affected: LA County, Kern County, Orange County, San Bernardino, and Ventura. Anything that has to do with physical damage is very important that you submit your application before March 10th, 2025. Anything that has to do with where you were impacted economically, then that deadline is of October 8th. I have also put the website where you can go directly to the SBA, and they continue to add different resources every single day. So if you go to the SBA at the bottom, there's going to be my documents, where it's going to give you the fact sheets, exactly what I'm explaining to you. It's going to have the application, and they just added location resources centers where you can actually go in there directly yourself. If you're having issues applying online, you can go directly yourself. And there's different recovery centers where you can go, or business resource centers where you can go directly to ask those questions. You can also reach out to us if you have any general question, or we can guide you where you can go directly to get that information that you need. This is my information here. Any questions that you guys might have, you guys can reach out to me. I'll also put that information on the chat. Whatever questions you might have, our team is available. Myself, our CEO, Reyes Mejia, is available. So we're here to help. Any questions that you guys might have or your clients might have, we're here to help you.
One of my questions I have, Wilbur, is what if I have an SBA loan already?
Great question. If you have an SBA loan already, you can still apply because this is a disaster. So this is completely different from your limit. So what that means is normally for the SBA, you can apply up to $5 million just for an SBA loan. But this has to do something with a disaster, which you can still apply for that. Great question.
Now, I have another question. I'm asking you, in your professional opinion, do you think the rates and programs will change in the very near future?
For this specifically, I think it won't, but I think it's a very, very great program. For those that qualify elsewhere, it's 7 years. And for those that don't qualify elsewhere, the loan can be up to 30 years, which is, I mean, it's unheard of, right? Even if you try to go get a conventional loan for any type of working capital or anything like that, you're not going to get anywhere near, even sometimes you're not even going to get anywhere near 7 years. You might get 3 to 5 at most.
Got it. And my last question that I have is, you've shared the different type of programming that are available, whether you're commercial, residential, or your homeowner. And, before, will SoCal Loans be able to provide any direction on what loan is a better fit for the applicant? saying that, I'm a renter and I want to apply for whatever it is, right? And then I could speak to your group to see how you could best direct me so that when I get online, I just don't understand how to fill out that form. Is that something that
100%,
oh,
100%. We can give you guys guidance on what we think is best based on the scenario that you give to us. We can give you that guidance, and then we can also get the resources online and kind of show you. We'll go through it together, and then you decide also as well which one is best for you. Because after you apply, we have some of our clients, so you guys can have a better understanding. Once you apply, it's not asking you to submit an amount. It's going to ask you to describe what damages you have. Once you apply, within the same day or the day after, it might ask you to upload your most recent tax returns. So if you haven't done your 2023 tax return, that's one thing that we are seeing. Those tax returns are overdue already. So when the SBA says you need to be SBA eligible, that's what they mean. And that's with any lender that you will apply. If you come to me and say, Wilbur, I don't want to do an SBA loan, I want to do a conventional loan, I take you to a lender, the lenders, they have to ask you for those returns because they are overdue. They need to be completed. The other question we're getting a lot is if they have an SBA loan and they were late on payments, that we go back to the same thing. Are you SBA eligible? Are you SBA compliant? Normally, the SBA has rules. If you've been late on any payments within 12 months, it's going to be very difficult for you to get a loan. This is a little bit different. We haven't gotten a client yet where they had that situation happen, but I'm sure we're going to hear about that in the near future.
okay. And well, I guess I do have one more question then. So I know that we talk a lot about SBA, and so I just wanted to be clear is that the lending institution, whether it be a bank or SoCal Loans that could package the loan. So SBA, what is SBA? Are they actually providing funding? Are they co-signing? What exactly is the function of SBA?
Very good question. With this specific program, only in disaster types of situations, you have to go directly to apply through the SBA. If you're applying just for any other SBA, then that's where you can come to us. We package the deal. We help the client and the lender underwrite the deal. And then we choose based on our client situation, we choose which lender we think it's best fit for our client situation that they're currently in. And that might be their financials, their credit, the debt that they might have. Every lender underwrites risk very, very differently. That's what they manage. Some lenders do what's called a where you have to qualify through their underwriting first before they move on to the SBA, and other lenders go by whatever the SBA guidelines are. If you're good enough for the SBA guidelines, then you're good enough for them. Normally, if you go directly to a lender, what that means is the SBA is guaranteeing a percentage of the loan that you're getting. But with this one, it's 100% directly through the SBA. So if you have someone that tells you, hey, I have the lender that's going to do it, reach out to us because we'll guide you where to go directly. And I put the website too on the link because nobody else can do this loan other than the SBA themselves.
Right. I just want to let the group know SoCal Loans is also affiliated with the LA Latino Chamber of Commerce. Reyes Mejias is also one of our board members. We're here to help you. Don't want to provide website addresses and people just sit there and say like, what now? Does anybody else have any questions in the chat room, Olivia?
Let me check real quickly. Wilbur did provide the information on SBA lending on the chat, as well as Julia, who will be speaking next. Resources from the California Insurance. Sergio, qualifying factors. Someone's asking about qualifying factors for the SBA loans. I know, Wilbur, you went over those briefly, but can you give us a quick 1, 2, 3?
Sure. So taxes, right? Make sure you're up to date with that. Your credit needs to be SBA eligible. And what that means is Do you have any bankruptcies? Do you have any foreclosures? Do you have any charge-off accounts? They pay attention to those things. And the last one is the source of repayment, right? Once they look at your financials, based on what they're looking at, are you able to repay that loan based on the financials and the debt that you currently have? The system's going to ask you once you're submitting your application, it's going to ask you what liabilities you have, which means what debt do you have and what those monthly payments look like. And based on that, they're going to compare your income and see if you can take on new debt, right? They don't want to put you in a worse situation where you're not going to be able to pay the debt that you currently have plus the debt that the SBA is going to give you.
Another question, what about FEMA efforts for those in the fire areas? Can I have a FEMA loan for personal and apply for an SBA loan?
So that's where you have to go directly through FEMA. I can't speak much on that, but I do know clients that are doing both. What most of them have done is connect with FEMA before they come to us on the SBA side.
Marco is asking, what is the rate?
It ranges. So the rates can be no credit elsewhere, which means that you can't qualify for any other credit outside. But if it's for a business, for example, it's 4. If they do deem that you qualify for credit elsewhere outside of the SBA, that would be 8%.
What are the qualifying factors?
Disaster loan is 3, right? There's business physical disaster damage, which means either your property was damaged or some type of equipment that you might have that's damaged. If you were impacted economically, power went off, you can't run your business, right? Then that's what's called the economic injury disaster loan directly. And then there's the home disaster loan, which is for homeowners and renters if they were impacted by the fire.
Thank you for clarifying. Time to fund. So for funding these loans, do you know the approximate time from the initial?
We haven't gotten any guidance on that yet. They haven't put those resources up on the website yet. I'm assuming it's going to be very, very similar to the previous when we had COVID, which it can be anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks at most. One of the main things, keep an eye, once you apply, keep an eye on your phone. You're going to get text messages, you're going to get emails, and then continue to log in and check your message center. The SBA has been very, very good at that this time around with communicating with clients. So they will let you know. They're not going to call you. Everything is communicated online. You're going to get text messages, like I said. You're going to get emails, and then you can also log in to the account. As soon as you apply, what I would recommend is, let's say you apply right now in the morning, check in the evening, because you're going to get some type of notification before the end of the day, and maybe the following day you're going to get notifications to continue to add on different items.
Mm-hmm. And then one more question. Businesses outside the affected areas, however, they are experiencing a loss of business because of the affected areas. Are they also eligible for SBA loans?
Not for this loan, but yes, they are. They can qualify based on their financials. They can apply for different types of loans, and that they can reach out to us and we'll analyze their situation, and then we can guide them as best as we can. There's many different loans outside of the SBA, but this won't be the program for you because this program is only for those 4 counties.
Okay. All right. But if you're in one of those 4 counties affected,
you can apply for this, you can apply for conventional, you can apply for pretty much any loan out there, plus this one.
Okay. All right. Thank you for clearing up. One last question. Will we have the guidelines available to view for each disaster loan? So those are on your deck. Is your deck available to share with those?
I can share the link, but this is very high level because it continues to change by day. That's why I input that link. When you go to that link, what you want to go to is the fact sheet that tells you. It's not going to be by loan because it's pretty much classified under one, but it will tell you, it'll give you a high level if you're doing for property damages, what qualifies as a property damage, what what qualifies as a personal damage, personal property damage as well. It will tell you that. That way you can have a better understanding of what that means.
Okay.
And that's where the eligibility comes in piece, where you can reach out to us, and then that's where we'll help you. Okay, do you fit in one of these categories, or are any of these things that are ineligible, does that apply to you? And if it does, then unfortunately, that's when you become ineligible to apply.
Okay. All right.
Let's move on to our next speaker, Julia, and then we could take some other questions towards the end if you'd like.
Julia, welcome. Thank you for spending time with us this morning. We know you're really busy, providing information to our community. Our chamber is grateful for, again, your time, your expertise, and welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here with you. My heart goes out to those of you who have lost, your businesses or your homes during this time, but I want to make sure that you are aware of the services that the California Department of Insurance has available for you. Thank you very much for your time this morning. I would like to share my screen and just want to give you just general information as to the things that you should be aware of in the immediate. So right now, if you have a loss of any kind, open a claim with your insurance company and your agent. If you don't have the information for your agent or your insurance company directly, the Department of Insurance can help you gather that information. So our phone number and our website information is going to be on throughout the entire presentation, but I just want to make sure that you're aware that this is where you can call us. We have experts available during business hours, and we are going to be able to work with you and get in touch with the insurance company on your behalf. Right now, if you are evacuated, some of the, some if not most of the insurance policies that people have additional living expenses. And so if you are evacuated right now, regardless of where, the types of expenses that you are making, please keep every single one of your receipts of any purchases that you make. This can include, not only where you're staying, but food. So food, lodging, clothing, whatever it is that you are spending on, that all of those receipts, make sure that you keep track of those. You have them in a safe place. And right now, we are encouraging, please do not sign any contracts for repairs or any other needs until you have already spoken with your insurance company and you are very, very aware of what it is that you need to do. And if you are going to, if somebody is talking to you about your claim, if anybody calls you about your claim, demand to see identification and make sure that you keep track of who are the people that you are talking to. Get names, phone numbers. Do not rely on just a business card, but request identification for that. Public adjusters are basically the people that look at your property and look and figure out, what the losses were. There are different types of public adjusters. Right now, there are going to be people that basically just represent a claimant, may represent you. They will charge you a fee, even if they say, "Oh, don't worry, it's just going to be, you are entitled to you're entitled to 75% of all your losses." No, you are entitled to 100% of your losses. And so a public adjuster may, just take money from the top. So please be aware of those people. There are company adjusters, and those are employees of the insurance company, and they do not charge a fee for you. They are employees of the insurance company. Independent adjusters are hired maybe hired also under contract with the insurance company. So, and they also do not charge a fee to you. So those are this is very, very important for information for you to be aware of. Also, right now, the fire is still underway. Therefore, they cannot be soliciting your business. There is a 7-day break in between a declared disaster area for when they can actually solicit your business. So, and when they are able to do so, they can only solicit your business between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. So they are not supposed to be reaching out to you between the hours of 6 p.m. and 8 a.m. Sorry about that. just make absolutely sure that, you cannot, you should not be harassed during this time by people who are trying to get your business as well. When you do speak with a public adjuster, you can check their license status, and you can note the number and full name. Like I said before, do not rely on a business card. You can call our 800 number and we can tell you if they are able to do business here in the state, that they are legitimate, a legitimate business. So just make sure that you contact the Department of Insurance. We are here with a lot of services, and we want to make sure that you take advantage of those. Also, want you to know that a public adjuster contract can be canceled within 3 business days of signing, except that, if it's because of a disaster, it's 5 calendar days without any penalty or obligation. So just make sure, you make sure that you're aware of that too. But also, it is illegal for a public adjuster to advance money to you so that you can sign a contract with them. That is absolutely illegal, and they may not offer referral fees in the excess of $100 as well. So just want to make sure that you are aware of that. Also, a public adjuster may not have an interest in with any contractor or demolition company or any entity making repairs to your property. They cannot use just a general badge for identification. And so I want you to please remember, please be aware of anyone attempting to rush you into signing a contract or begin demolition. You need to be sure that you are talking with your insurance company, that you have all of your ducks in a row before you get started on any movement. I want you to see also, and just be aware right now, there are so many people that are trying to take advantage of the community, because we have never been through something like this, right? A lot of people have never been through anything like it, and so they absolutely are looking for resources, and so they might look to the internet. Where can I find resources? And they will be. There are going to be plenty of places that are going to be trying to scam you, trying to get your business. And so please be aware of that and know that you can contact the department and we can actually help you with that. I want you to just be aware of a few things. Commissioner Lara met with the governor and the insurance company CEOs, and they have agreed to continue running in the state. So please know that the insurance market is alive and well in California. We have been doing a lot of work throughout the last 6 years to make sure that the rates are reflecting the risk here in California. So we are in a much better place right now. One of the things that we want to make sure of too is that that we do have a long-term financial plan for the FAIR plan, which is the insurance of last resort. If you have been non-renewed and have had to go into the FAIR plan, the FAIR plan is also in good standing. And so we are working on full implementation of the commissioner's sustainable insurance strategy, which basically is making sure that we have the staffing and everything ready to get our rate reviews done on time and correctly. That also that the companies and homeowners are aware that we need to do our part to mitigate our homes, to make sure that our homes are safer from wildfires. And so we have a system in place in the state. It's called Safer from Wildfires framework. The commissioner put together all of the different agencies that deal with wildfires and put together very specific things that every homeowner must do to be able to make sure that your home is safe. It is for your home, your immediate surroundings, and then your community as a whole. The more things that you do, then the better, you're going to be in a better place to be able to get insurance. Insurance companies are going to be looking for those homes that are safer. So we encourage people to be vigilant of that, to learn about that. I'm going to share in the chat all of that information so that you're able to use that. The more things that you do, Commissioner Lara also made it so that insurance companies must take all of that into account when they sell you a policy. And that must reflect the premium that you are being charged. So those are the very specific things that we're doing there. We also have worked with the insurance companies and all the experts in regards to catastrophe modeling. What that is that for the past 30 years, California has been one of the only states in the nation that required us to, when insurance companies would say, this is what my risk is, we would only look at historical losses and then say, well, your future losses are going to be similar or the same as your historic losses have been. Well, we have seen unprecedented losses since 2017, 2018. And that has just changed the business altogether. Insurance companies have been used to then saying all of these zip codes are just uninsurable. So we're not going to renew their policies. Well, now we are going to be able to use catastrophe modeling so that insurance companies are able to see a home or a business directly, and will be able to give the correct risk for there and be able to charge accordingly. So we are, we have made those changes within this last year, and we expect to have everything in place within the middle of the year for insurance companies to be able to have their new rates to be able to charge according to the actual risk that we have. We also have reinsurance, which is basically insurance for the insurance companies. That in the past, California has been one of the only states that has not allowed for reinsurance to be used as part of their listing of all of the expenses that they have. And so we are making absolutely sure that if they do, that they are only insuring California risk. We are not going, because insurance companies are conglomerates throughout the world, we want to make absolutely sure that we are not paying for a risk that is in Bangladesh or Florida, but rather California only risk. So we are working on that as well. And want to make sure for, the big question that people have is the FAIR plan, which is the insurance of last resort, which is basically a consortium of every insurance company that has business in the state. They pay into this. It's a consortium, so they will have to put in money depending on their market share into the FAIR plan. And so the commissioner is making absolutely sure that the FAIR plan continues to be stable. And so he is meeting with the FAIR plan twice a week, ensuring that we have financial stability through this entire process. So I want you to know that, where does that come from? The FAIR plan has their reserves to pay out claims, but they also have reinsurance. So the insurance for the insurance companies, so they will have that money set aside as well. And then there will be a $1 billion assessment on insurance companies if they don't have, if the reserves and the reinsurance is not enough to pay out all the claims. If at that point this is Armageddon type of losses, if that happens, then at that point, there will be a 50-50 split between taxpayers and insurance companies for the rest of the losses. We are nowhere near this. We are barely at the reserves section right now. So please note that the FAIR plan is in a good place, and you will be paid your claims. Looking ahead, the commissioner is looking at particular legislation. He's going to be working on California Safe Home Act, which is going to provide grants of about $10,000 for mitigation. We're looking at for homeowners and for commercial policies as well, to try to figure out how can we get this money to make sure that communities can make their homes and their businesses safer. We are expanding our moratorium authority. That means that every home that has been affected by the fires would have a moratorium of 1 year. The commissioner, when he was in the Senate, made sure that we had this law in place that after a fire, after a declared fire emergency, or catastrophe or disaster, we have a moratorium on non-renewals, that insurance companies must keep you with insurance for at least 1 year while you look for other insurance if you need to. And that has, that is not only for the homes and that have been affected, that have been burned, but also the surrounding communities there. What we are looking at for legislation is to pass that moratorium to commercial policies as well. Right now, it is only for homeowners, so we are making sure that this legislation that we're trying to get through on an emergency basis, it also includes commercial policies. And then also allow the FAIR Plan to access catastrophic bonds. So that will be another thing that we're looking at in regards to upcoming legislation. On the moratorium, this entire week, as you can imagine, has been a whirlwind of different things that the commissioner is trying to make sure that we accomplish. And one of the big things was talking to the insurance companies and calling them out and saying, we need for all non-renewals to be stopped for people who have received a non-renewal maybe for the last 90 days to be able to then stop the non-renewals. And what we were asking for was for these areas that have been affected by the wildfires. State Farm is the largest insurer in the state, homeowners and commercial policy insurer. And State Farm has actually agreed to stop non-renewals, but not only just of homeowners policies, but commercial policies as well in the entirety of Los Angeles County. So if you have received a non-renewal from State Farm within the last 90 days that it's supposed to be coming to fruition, know that is going to be rescinded because of this request that Commissioner Lara has made. We will have an insurance town hall with Commissioner Lara on the 30th. And so hopefully at that point, you have already gotten a lot of information. Commissioner Lara is going to go over everything that we are doing, but then also reviewing, any updates that you need to have and resources that you need to have available. I also want to make sure that you have the information for all of the different agencies that can help you right now. So of course, the Department of Insurance, we are here for you, and we can talk with you about your specific claim. Contractor State License Board, they are the ones that just oversee all contractors, and so you can check there for if a contractor is licensed and what they need, what you need to do in order to help you get back on your feet. FEMA, there's the phone number for FEMA as well, and the National Insurance Crime Bureau. If you feel like you are being taken advantage of by an insurance company there as well, you can reach out to them and they will be able to get your information. I want you to be aware also the Department of Insurance has 300 sworn police officers in our department who oversee any types of insurance crimes. So if you if you are being a victim of any type of crime, they are able to come in and look into and investigate the claim, make sure that you are made whole, and that the Department of Insurance is keeping track of all of the different folks that are trying to take advantage of you. Every week, it seems that we are putting someone in jail because of all the different the different types of scams. So please know that we are available for you and that we can help you during this time. So with that, I have given you a lot of information, but I want to make sure that I am available for answering any questions that you may have.
Well, thank you, Julia, for all the information. I know it's a boatload of info, overwhelmed, but it's great to be able to hear it directly from the commissioner's office, because it's really key to keep it real. It's really key to make sure that no one's being, everything that's being mitigated doesn't go into some kind of rabbit hole where there's misinformation and fraud and all the things that are going along.
I have a couple of questions, Olivia.
Sure.
Well, yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate this high level report that you gave us. So I have a couple of questions. So, what caught my interest was the adjusters. Do you think the insurance department, California Department of Insurance, would recommend us as a business owner or homeowner to seek an outside private adjuster to see, where the numbers are at between the insurance companies and a private adjuster? I have a past experience with insurance companies. I do a lot of insurance repair work, and they're always on the low ball. I mean, they're always trying to figure out how they're going to save their company's money, which that's their job.
Mm-hmm.
That's one question.
So the Department of Insurance can actually review your claims with you. And they can tell you, this is correct. Like, if the insurance company is doing something incorrectly, we cannot, as a state agency, give give you suggestions as to whom to do business with, but we can't, so in that sense, we really can't go into those types of details. But we do have information as to, who is, if there are any complaints against any particular insurance company or just as you're able to look at our website and get that information as well, so that you have, your eyes open in that sense. But this is a very good question, Daryl. I'm going to follow up and see if there, what else the department potentially can do in regards to this, and I will get you, we'll follow up with you as well on that.
So at your workshop, the one that you shared with the group, will they be, myself included? I mean, I'm quick to sign. I don't understand what my policy has on there. At this workshop, would there be experts on behalf of the California Department of Insurance that's going to help us understand how to read our policy?
Absolutely.
Or,
Yes.
So that's what I'm looking for myself. That I live in a fire area. Thank God that I wasn't impacted. But I think now that I probably better pick up that policy and understand: am I underinsured or where am I at with it? Because saving $100 or whatever that is versus not being prepared and being really up the creek is not a good position to be in right now.
Absolutely. So that is exactly what the experts at the department are. But so we are absolutely going to be available for those one-on-one appointments. But I also want to encourage you and your members as a whole. These are very specific, for this type of information. But the Department of Insurance has the experts on every day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have people that can talk to you about your insurance, not only your homeowner's insurance, but your auto insurance, any type of insurance question that you have. They are able to go through your entire your entire policy with you, explain it, and just give you all of the information that you may need, so that you have eyes wide open as to what it is that you're reading. Because you're right, Daryl, me included, when I purchased my home, it was very much so. Here's this book filled with all this other stuff that you have to sign, and you just sign, but they are able to go through it with you and give you, the specifics. Maybe, you bought your house maybe 30, 40 years ago, and your insurance was, 200,000 or something. And you're like, oh, that works. But really, at this point, are you going to be able to rebuild a home with $200,000? What are the things that you actually need? So it is good to know and be able to see, what is the what is it that you should be paying as well, so that you are completely supported when something like this happens. And FEMA is not going to have the resources to help you rebuild altogether, because the losses are great somewhere else. So I want to make absolutely sure that people know insurance is a necessity, and it is important for you to understand it and see what it is that what is your risk, so that you are able to pay what according to what your risk is, and you are not underinsured. It's important to have that information.
So then I have two more questions. So one, you spoke about cancellation. I'm, being a residential contractor, I know the rights of rescissions. I understand the process of cancellation. But when we're doing commercial construction, do the cancellation of 5-day cancellations also commercial and residential, or is it just residential?
And this is for what I shared was the information for the adjusters.
Adjusters.
Not necessarily, contracts, not contractors. So on that, you would have to, that's the contractor state license board that you would have to, get further information. But that is very good information to know, Daryl. So I will make a note of that and make sure that I know in the future as well. So thank you.
So now's the magic question. So what if I don't have fire insurance?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's to be true. Maybe you could share, were there people out there actually didn't have fire insurance?
Well, that is the tragedy of the situation, because we're looking at communities like Altadena who, have been, staples in our community for generations. And so if you had your home or your business for a very long time in the family, and you didn't have to pay insurance and you couldn't afford to pay insurance, if you don't have a mortgage, you don't necessarily have to have insurance. So
Wow.
people went without. And so that's where we are seeing, unfortunately, that a lot of people that will not have insurance, it's going to take so much longer for them to get back on their feet. I always think about, I listened to an NPR story about the people from Katrina, right? When we saw that devastating losses in Katrina, and you had all of these people, when you talk to somebody who owned a home and had insurance, within the next, 3 years, they were made whole and were continuing to thrive. You're talking to a renter, or you're talking to someone who did not have insurance, and 10 years down the line, they're still struggling. So I encourage you, as a homeowner, as a parent, as a as a business owner, please do not go without insurance, because insurance is so important to get you back on your feet so that you're able to get your family and yourself together moving forward. So I encourage you to please look into insurance. If you need information, that is what the Department of Insurance is available for, and we are able to assist you with any of your questions to make sure that you have the insurance that you need.
So I know this is not an insurance question, but being the chairman of the LA Latino Chamber of Commerce and always looking out, for, I'm not going to say the underserved, but the people that are in a bad situation right now. Do you think that the governor will put some type of an executive order that will allow these individuals to kind of get back on their feet by deferring their taxes, their insurances, their mortgage payments? Do you think something like that will happen, so that these individuals will be able to figure out where they're at right now? Besides, we had a friend of ours, their mortgage payment was $13,000 a month. I mean, that's a whole lot of money for me.
Oh,
So how and then their house burned to the ground. How in the heck is that even going to happen? I wonder. Are they going to have to keep paying this debt? Now they got to go figure out where they're going to live, or their pet. More. I mean, the county. I represent the LA County Workforce Development Board, and pretty much they call that home. People are homeless if they're surfing on the sofa. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And so, and I know you don't. I'm just, maybe you can write that down. And as a concern, we're going to talk to the governor's office to see what they can do to help these individuals, get back on.
Absolutely. And Daryl, that reminds me of something else that I want to make sure that people do keep in mind, that even if you have had a loss, please keep your insurance. If you have, even if you have a full, a complete loss, people feel like, oh, well, my house is no longer there, I'm going to stop paying my payments, making my payments, right? Don't do that. Because you just keep your insurance, because there are other types of things that you can be sued for. Liabilities, somebody, while you're rebuilding, somebody can get hurt. You can, and so just please don't get rid of your insurance, because it is necessary for you to continue to, to move to the next level with your building and everything else that you need to do. So please don't get rid of your insurance. If you need assistance in understanding, what should I do here or there when it comes to your insurance, please make sure that you contact us, and we're able to help you so that you can understand what it is that needs to be done, and how we can, how you can get out of this situation at the time.
Thank you so much. At this time, do we have a couple of questions in the chat room? There's a lot of them in there.
I have another suggestion while we look, Olivia. One of the things that we are telling people is, as you are talking to your insurance company and everyone, and everything else, I would create a new email account for yourself. And there, make sure that you keep track of every conversation that you have with the insurance company. Name, who, like, not only the name, but who the phone number and what was said. And so you keep track of that. And my suggestion of you keeping it in an email address is because if you write it down someplace and you happen to lose that booklet or that, in an email, you have everything in one place. Also, we're suggesting that people, get a PO box so that all of your information is always, you are able to get it there as well, so that you can keep track of everything. If you have the wonderful thing about cell phones, right? At this point, every receipt that you get, take a picture of it and put it in put it in that file. Keep everything in one place so that you are able to have all that information ready when you are asked for it. So
I have one more question. Do you think the squeaky wheel gets the grease? Is that a good
always.
Is that a good method right now? Hola, chiones. I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm just thinking,
Well,
you know how you just have to be persistent, you have to keep on it. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, I guess, is kind of is what they talk about. So
Absolutely.
I know that sometimes, we're dealing with people that are upset, and I'm just like, how do we help them? We know that there's a need, and we know there's a sense of desperation, but we do want to help, but we just need to figure out, we don't know who you are. We just need you to kind of speak our language or kind of break it down so that we can help you. They said, help us help you, ¿verdad?
Pues eso. At the end of the day, expect that this is going, we're just getting started with getting, getting all of our ducks in a row. So it's going to take a while for you to have everything in place, and that everything is going to take some time. But I do want you to know that if there is, your state insurance commissioner has been working very hard for the last 6 years since Commissioner Lara came on board. We very much so made it our mission to go to every single county, find out what were the major issues, and be able to then look at, what can we do to make sure that we have a good relationship with our consumers, but also with the insurance companies, to be able to make sure that that insurance is healthy in the state. California has the largest insurance market in the entire country, and we are only second to China in the world. So know that this is a major business, and so we are doing everything in our power to make sure that the market here in California is alive and thriving. And all of the work that has been done, we have done more to upgrade and improve our market in within the last year than we have in the last 30 years of the department. And so please know that we are working on it and that we are here for you. If you need assistance, we have our experts that are available to talk to you and walk you through what it is that you need to do to make sure that you're made whole.
Do we have any other questions in the chat box that I haven't answered or that have not been answered?
Here's a good one. Are homeowners or businesses able to hire a third-party adjustment auditor?
So that's a public adjuster. And so that's what I had discussed earlier. So that, there is an adjuster from the insurance company that, they're paid from they're employees of the insurance company. So they will go through that. If you would like to, get your own, they are going to be around and available, of course, looking for your business. But I was giving you information before, please make sure that you check make sure that you check their IDs, make sure that that they are legitimate people who are working in the state, because you're going to get a lot of solicitations from people who are not legitimate and that will be looking to take a large percentage of your hard-earned returns. So please make sure that you check with the Department of Insurance that they are legitimate and that they are they are looking out for your best interest as well.
Okay, another question. If a claim is made for home repairs, can the insurance company increase the premiums next year?
So, right, that is, the insurance companies, because of the new regulations that the commissioner has made, with catastrophe modeling, with reinsurance and all of that. So we expect that within the next year, we're going to be receiving new information. You have, the non-renewals are in place. We, depends on your policy of where we are. And, I don't expect, because of your losses right now, don't expect that will be the actual thing that will happen. However, when you do receive this, you can check with the Department of Insurance. We act as a conduit between you and the insurance company. We are the regulator. We regulate the insurance company. So if you feel like you are being charged more than you're supposed to, that there is not, if you see a discrepancy, you can contact us and we can look and we can work with the insurance company, talk to them on your behalf. And many times when people call us and we review their policies with the insurance companies do rescind some of those increases. So it doesn't hurt to call the department and to check on that.
All right. What resources are available to homeowners if in 2025, this year, insurance companies refuse to renew their policies? So say I am a homeowner and, frankly, my insurance went up 50%. At some point they decide to cancel me. What are my resources?
Yeah, so we have at the Department of Insurance, we do have a different types of information there that you can search. We have a finders tool that you can look at what insurance companies are selling in your area and what you can do. What the commissioner has been working on with a sustainable insurance strategy is very much so that we can make sure that insurance companies will be able to continue writing in the state, so that those are decreased. Besides that, we also have tips on how to find insurance. So there's a lot of information there. I put it I put the link on the website. But besides that, we also in the state we have the California Fair Plan, which is, like I said, the insurance of last resort. Now, the Fair Plan is supposed to be the way that it was created. The Fair Plan was created after the Watts riots for those areas where insurance companies were just not writing at all. So that was created as a stopgap just for while you looked for other insurance. It's supposed to be you're there for maybe a month, maybe two, while you find other insurance. Right now in the state, it has become the insurance for many people. The problem with the Fair Plan is that it is extremely expensive and it only covers fire. So you still have to buy a difference of conditions policy. So it's a whole other, so you have to have two different insurance policies. So that's why we don't want people to be on the Fair Plan. What the commissioner was able to do was to get insurance companies to figure out how they can continue to do business in the state and be able to actually charge people for what their actual risk is. So you will not be, you shouldn't be gouged in that sense, but you will be able to see what your risk is. And that we expect that at that point, we will have more competition because insurance companies are going to be looking for those homes that are mitigated. So making sure that your home is safe from wildfires, that there are, the safer from wildfires framework that Commissioner Lara put together has very specific things that every homeowner should do, and it has 6 different things that you can do for your actual home, for your surroundings, and then for your community as well. And that has been created with the fire departments, with every agency that has to do with wildfires, to make sure that everybody has the same information, so that it's not just your county is asking for something different, your city is looking for something different, but rather this is the one thing that everybody agrees on, that these are the things that you need to do so that you're safer. And that is going to make sure that insurance companies are going to look for you as well. So there's going to be an increase in competition moving forward.
On behalf of the LA Latino Chamber of Commerce, my gratitude goes out to our guest speakers who have set time aside to speak to our community. I'm hoping that after this webinar is a little bit different from a lot of the other webinars that we all get on, that it's all just, click this website, do this, do that, right? And I'm hoping that you'll leave this webinar a lot more clear with the direction you need to go in. And I understand as a business owner, and we spoke about mortgage payments, we spoke about insurance payments, and it was recommended that we keep our insurance in case somebody does slip and fall or gets hurt on your property, and then your property still have to be insured. So we spoke a lot about the SBA loans. I'm hoping it's clear now that SBA is your kind of your co-signer in a sense that, you're going to have to be working with a group that's going to be packaging your loans. So today, being the LA Latino Chamber of Commerce, we always want to do things a little bit differently because we are actually a group of businesses that are in business. So we're going to be putting out an email address at info@lalcc.org, and I hope that's okay. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up appointments for individuals, whether you're a business owner or a residential owner, and we want to offer our services to these people when the insurance company is going to start saying, well, how much is it going to cost to rebuild? Or, we're going to offer no cost, no obligation consultation. So we have a really good group of architects, engineers, general contractors, design build contractors that could assist at no obligation, no cost, set up a one-on-one for us to answer those questions as well. But what we would need would be a Google Earth printout of your business or your home, what it looked like. And second, a printout of your property profile. And I believe you could get that from your title insurance that would say, you lived in a 3-bedroom house, 1,500 square feet. So kind of give us an idea of kind of what your property used to look like. And then at that time, no obligation, no cost. We could sit down with you for an hour or so to kind of advise you on the direction. So we are offering that service here at the Chamber. We have a boardroom where people can come and sit and bring us some information and to see how we could impact or help, bring calmness to our community. And that's it for me.
I want to thank Wilbur Cabrera, Julia Juarez, Deputy Commissioner, and our Chairman for being with us, and of course your time. So any information you may need from us, you can reach us at info@lalcc.org or call us at 213-422-9019. On that note, have a wonderful Friday and stay safe. Thank you.